everybody, thanks for joining me today. We are going to be diving into this Sephora Favorites kit called The Next Big Thing today. I mentioned this in my big holiday beauty haul, and this was really the Sephora Favorites set that caught my eye. And if you're familiar with this line that they have, it's like Sephora's way of putting out different little samplers that feature lots of different brands. So they'll have the Lash Stash, which is a bunch of different mascaras. They'll do the Give Me More Lips set. They'll just have some various themes. And this one was what really caught my eye because there were enough things in here that I truly hadn't sampled before, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to try it. It was $39 and it does include 2 full-sized items. Overall, I feel like they did a good job of putting in some things that perhaps a lot of people haven't tried yet, a little bit newer brands to their website. The one exception might be the Milk Makeup Cooling Water Stick. While I love that product, it just doesn't strike me as some like new and undiscovered item. But this is our layout on the inside. We are getting a little duo here from Natasha Denona. We're getting a Violet Voss, like kind of liquid eyeshadow type thing. The Milk Stick, as I said, this Kaja blush stamp, the Melt full-size lipstick. So those are your 2 full sizes. From Artist Couture, it's the Diamond Lights Finisher, and then from Farsali, the Liquid Glass Serum. You are going to see me trying all this stuff on in this video and kind of giving you some little reviews as I go, and ultimately come to some conclusions as to whether I think this kit is worthwhile. So the first thing I put on, and actually both of these more skincare oriented items I already have, so I'm not busting into these minis. I'd rather give them to somebody else. So I have the Liquid Glass and I have the Milk Cooling Water. So I use the Liquid Glass as sort of like a primer right before foundation. They say it can be used like a radiating skin serum alone or mixed with makeup. I've yet to try mixing it with makeup. Now this product has fabulous reviews and ratings on Sephora's website, and I feel like I've kind of struggled to see a major effect. I mean, I do get what people are saying, that it adds hydration and it does add a little bit of glow to the skin. In the bottle, it just looks like this cloudy kind of gray liquid, maybe a little bit of a pearlescent sheen, but you put it on your skin and I feel like that sheen is not very visible, but you do really feel a hydrated texture. And if you give that just like a couple extra minutes to sink in, it won't really feel sticky. It'll just feel nicely hydrated. And in that respect, I guess it could be a pleasant primer for some people, but it's not really like changing the game for me. However, I do want to try mixing it in with some foundations because I've noticed a lot of people saying like it improved staying power, it did good things for the overall look, so that is something I want to try. But I put this on and then I followed up with my Kevyn Aucoin foundation balm because I actually thought the two might work well hand in hand, having a little extra moisture here and then you put this on and it has that kind of matte finish. I don't know, I'm one who's not completely sold on this stuff, but I think actually getting it in the sampler is the best way to go because you're going to get that small size, you'll be able to try it for yourself, and you won't be dropping that full size price just to figure out if it might work great for you. The cooling water stick from Milk, this is something, a mini size, that I've had on hand for quite a while. I love this stuff. This would be a great thing to keep in the makeup fridge. I've got a similar product from Found, which is a brand from Walmart. They have like a cucumber cooling stick and I keep it in the makeup fridge. But even if you don't, you are going to feel a cooling effect from this product, and you just kind of glide it on the skin. It almost feels watery as it comes in contact with the skin. And then you dab it in, you have a little extra hydration. You could put it all over your face. I really like to concentrate it on the under eye area. Almost in comparison to the rest of my skin, it makes my under eye feel even cooler and probably a little bit depuffed. Another cool thing that I actually just used this for the other day was to refresh my makeup. So I had a full face of makeup on all day, and then by evening I was looking at my under eye area and I thought that looks a little dry, a little heavy. So I got some of this just like on my ring finger on top of existing makeup, and I felt like it almost gave the skin the little extra drink that it needed. Things didn't look patchy or weird or anything, but it just looked less dry. So that might be something you consider as well for the Milk Stick. I think that's really great. And this is the mini packaging that actually comes in this set as opposed to that kind of stick that I've had. So good stuff there. Love that product. And I really am liking the fact that there's such a mix of different things here because it's face face stuff. There's a lip product. You've got something for eyes. I feel like it is a true sampler. Now, the next thing I did after I moved on with a few more steps of makeup is I decided to play with this Violet Voss liquid shadow here. It's actually called the Glitter Topper, and the shade is Dream. And I just did a very basic eye look to start things off, just to give myself a little bit of a base. I used some matte shades from the Too Faced Gingerbread Extra Spicy palette, trying to give that thing a few more shots. I was kind of critical of it in my haul video, but I thought a matte look would be a great way to spotlight this product. And basically what we have here is a liquid shadow. It has this metallic rose gold look with silver glitter throughout. If you're familiar with the Stila liquid glitters, the glitter is not as concentrated as some of those are. It's more like you get this steady stream of metallic shadow, and dispersed within is going to be your glitter. I'm pretty sure Stila has some that look that way as well, but when I think of their glitters, I think of the really concentrated stuff, and here it almost seems like a 50-50 split of metallic shadow and glitter. If you're swatching this and you're kind of testing it out for yourself, you can see that the product will set. It will completely dry down, but as you rub across it, the glitter does sort of loosen up. So if you put this on your eyes, I would say don't over apply it and don't do a lot of touching on it, because that'll cause the glitter to sort of break away and kind of fall elsewhere on your face. But beyond that little tidbit, I do find this to be a very user-friendly product. I mean, I just swiped it on, pretty much concentrating it on the inner half of my lid, and then dabbed over it with my finger, and I was good. And I felt like I added some glitz to my look, but in a very easy to manage way. If you were trying to pull this look off with loose glitter, it's a little bit more of a struggle. You're going to be pulling in glitter glue primers. You're maybe going to be applying some things wet. Here it is kind of the one-step glam. And for a lot of people, this may just be all you want in that respect. You may not need a gift set of liquid glitters. You may not even want to splurge for one full size, but having it included in this kit in a very, very wearable shade that would mesh so well with a ton of different eye looks, I think it's nice to have. Again, I think the sampler mini size mentality works really well for certain products in here. We're gonna move on to this Kaja blush stamp. Definitely one of the most intriguing products to me here. You're getting it in the full size in the shade called Feisty. You're gonna have your actual stamp up top, and then your compact down below opens up, and you've got sort of a cushion blush in here. So if you're familiar with any of the cushion foundations, highlights, whatever, that stuff as well has always reminded me of kind of having a very saturated, juicy stamp pad. And your stamper here is kind of spring-loaded. You're gonna go down in there. I just tried to make sure I got product evenly all over the stamp, and then I just popped it right on my cheek. And then I quickly grabbed this Real Techniques blush brush that works well for powders or creams / liquids, and I blended it all out. I thought it had a really pretty, fresh look. Once you blend this blush stamp in, it feels lightweight. It does not feel tacky, but you get a good amount of color. Having a heart stamped on your cheek is kind of, you know, gimmicky, but still fun. It's a nice visual effect for tutorials or whatever. I started on the other cheek to kind of blend it out with my fingers. Then you can really get a sense of the texture. It's not as thin as a lot of blush stains. It has a little more moisture, so I think that keeps it from setting too fast, but I do really prefer a brush to blend it in. The color is so intense. I just feel like a brush does the best job, but that's fun. I actually enjoy that little find, and I will continue to use that from time to time. Now, another blushy type product that's in here is from Natasha Denona, and it's the Diamond and Glow Duo. Now, I promised I've opened this product before, but when I popped it open to prepare to do the demo, it was like the highlighter powder just crumbled, and I had to press it back in, which was possible, but kind of odd. You get what they call the Diamond Powder Highlighter and the Duo Glow, which sort of comes off kind of like a blush. However, it's a less intense blush. For my skin, I feel like it adds a little pinky color, but there's a really pronounced golden kind of shimmery undertone, and that's primarily what I see. So I felt like I could apply a little bit of that over top of the blush I already used, and you might be able to see the level of glow we're working with. But I'm not a huge fan of that highlighter powder in there. It is just like really, really fine compressed micro sparkle is what it makes me think of. It saddens me a little bit because I think Natasha Denona actually makes a fantastic highlighter called Super Glow. I have it in the shade Fair, and I think it's just absolutely perfect and ethereal and just so radiant on the skin. But what's in here is ultimately a little bit glittery flaky. Again, in the sampler capacity, some people might try that and be like, ooh, I really like it, or you really like at least one half of it. I definitely prefer the pinky tone side that turns out to be this kind of pinky golden shifting highlighter slash blush topper. I think that's kind of cool and I like the texture of that product, but I just wish they put this texture of highlight inside because I think a lot of people would be obsessed with that. Next up, we've got a little loose shimmer here from Artist Couture. This is a brand I had never tried until this kit, and it's called the Diamond Lights Finisher in Spotlight Glitz. And this, from what I've looked up on this product, it could be a multitasking type thing. You could put it all over the body for glow all over. You could wear it very concentrated on the eyes as an eyeshadow, as a highlighter. You could mix it in with a lip color. Like, it's just kind of your all-purpose glimmer. And this shade has kind of a goldeny look. However, when I sheer it out, it almost looks a little cooler and icier than it does in the little container, if that makes sense. But as I shook some out into the cap just to give myself a small amount to work with, you can see that there's a lot of little particles that almost have to be pressed out and sort of mushed out a little bit and smoothed out into ultimately a very metallic, sparkly texture. So keep that in mind. It seems kind of dry and a little chunky. And then I think the product really has a chance to thrive when it all gets meshed together. Case in point, you put a little on your cheek and you're gonna get a little swipe of intense color, but then you ultimately need to buff it out. And I'm a little on the fence with this one. I think it looks really, really nice at a distance, and I almost see that wet look idea happening, but then I look up really close and I'm definitely seeing like the glitter particles. I could probably play with my application on this a little bit more, maybe come up with some additional tips and tricks, but it can be intense, I will say that. And then I applied it very, very concentrated around my inner corner, and I liked it in that sense. I think this would be beautiful all over the lid as an eyeshadow, actually. I think going forward, I will probably prefer it that way as opposed to all over on top of my cheeks. And the final thing in here is your full-sized Melt Matte Lipstick. And when I realized Melt came to Sephora's website, I got like the Gemini palette, which I think is fabulous. I got actually a different lipstick in the shade called Frisky, which is sort of this dusty, kind of deep peach, warm, cinnamony type color. But what comes in here is the shade Old Rose. And this is the shade I've had on my lips all video long as I've been sitting here talking. I do really like the texture of these matte lipsticks. They feel creamy, they feel comfortable. Even as they've had a chance to sit on your lips for a while, they don't have this really dry down. They just frankly stay feeling pretty creamy but have a matte appearance. And this shade, I think a lot of people would have fun with this color. You know, it's very neutral, but more of a cool neutral, and you do get that really dusty rose feel in there as well. So I like it. I think it's kind of cool that the brand's packaging is so darn simple and like kind of lightweight, just nothing fancy, but it's all about the product on the inside, which I think is actually a really nice quality matte lipstick. So final thoughts on this kit. There is some major sparkle and glow going on in here. So if you're completely against that, you may not be a fan of like the Violet Voss little eye glitter thing there and the Artist Couture and the Natasha Denona Diamond Glow. If you're really against that idea, it could be a little bit of a turn off, but I think it's such a good way to try like the Farsali liquid glass. See if that's something you would enjoy as like a priming step or a foundation mixer step. The Milk makeup stick is a can't miss product. I think the Melt lipstick is a can't miss. The Kaja stamp is super fun if you're kind of adventurous with applying blushes and stuff. I would say just have a good brush that you're ready to blend that in with, that you like to use with sort of cream and liquid cheek products, because that works best. I'm kind of 50-50 on the Natasha Denona Diamond and Glow. Like I said, I like the one part of it a little better than the other, and I do think this Violet Voss like liquid shadow is actually really pretty, and for a lot of people that may be all you need, you know, for the entire holiday season as far as glitter goes. Like that would be an adequate amount of eye glitter to have for a lot of people. Coming in just under $40 for all this though, I would say it's a good deal. I want to see Sephora doing more things like this because I think it's a great way to sample new things. Overall, even though I try a lot of makeup, as you could see, there was quite a bit that I wasn't super familiar with in here. I think it would be cool, Sephora Favorites team, if you did like an undiscovered favorites or like a hidden gems of Sephora, maybe things that have been in certain brands' lines for some time, and you all at Sephora know by your little Sephora statistics what's maybe not really selling that much, but you think it really deserves a shot, so you put some mini sizes in a kit like this. Wouldn't that be fun? I'd be all over that kind of thing. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts thoughts if you've tried this kit, if you have any standouts that are within this kit that you particularly recommend. But personally, I am glad that I picked it up because I think I certainly learned some things about quite a few different brands. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.